My name is Allie Crawford, and today I'll be performing two monologues. The first is Cecily's monologue from The Importance of Being Earnest, and the second is Allegra's monologue from Pretty Theft. You silly boy, of course I'll marry you! Why, we've been engaged for the last 3 months. It'll be exactly 3 months on Thursday. Ever since dear Uncle Jack first confessed to us that he had a younger brother who was very wicked and bad, you, of course, have formed the chief topic of conversation between myself and Miss Prism. And, of course, a man who is much talked about is always very attractive. One thinks there must be something in him after all. I dare say it was foolish of me, but I fell in love with you, Ernest. The engagement was settled on the 14th of February last. Worn out by your entire ignorance of my existence, I was determined to settle the matter one way or the other, and after a long struggle with myself, I accepted you under this dear tree here. And the next day I went out and bought this ring in your name and this bangle with the true lover's knot I promised you always to wear. You've wonderful good taste, Ernest. It's the excuse I've always given you for leading such a horrible life. And this is the box in which I keep all your dear letters. I remember only too well I was forced to write them all for you. I wrote 3 times a week, sometimes oftener, and I remember the week I broke off our engagement, the 3 you wrote were so beautiful and so badly spelled that even now I still cry a little when I read them. You can read the entry if you'd like. Today, I broke off my engagement with Ernest. I felt it had to be done. The weather still continues charming. It hardly would have been a serious affair if I hadn't called it off at least once. Besides, I forgave you before the week was out. Oh, I don't think I could break it off now that we've actually met. Besides, of course, there is the question of your name. You mustn't laugh at me, darling, but it's always been a girlish dream of mine to love somebody called Ernest. There's something in that name that inspires absolute confidence. Well, I pity any poor woman whose husband is not called Ernest. I know you're probably mad at me for leaving before the funeral, but I just couldn't do it. I mean, my whole body itches and it won't stop until I can't see this house or this town or this state from my rearview window. This way's better. Okay, this way, I'll come back from my trip and go straight to school, and you won't have to see me or think about me. This way you can tell people you have a daughter, but you won't have to talk to me on the phone or see me on the couch. I'll be a no-maintenance daughter just like you always wanted. I'm gonna go now. And I know someday you're gonna want to talk to me again. Maybe after I graduate and get a job, buy a house, and get married, and have my own daughter, then you can talk to her and she could be your favorite. We could pretend like you were a really great mother. She won't know, and I don't have to tell her. But now I'm gonna drive. And I probably won't think about you again until I get to the Grand Canyon, or some other fairly good canyon. And maybe I'll stare at that mammoth orange hole in the ground and cry. Or maybe I'll smile, because it's beautiful and I'm free and windswept. But now I'm gonna get into Susie's mom's car, and I'm just gonna drive until there's drops left in the tank, and then maybe after we cross the border into Massachusetts, we'll have to pull over and fill up the tank, and I'll buy some ding-dongs and an orange soda, and I'll bite into the first one sitting on the hood just watching the car slurp up gas. And so then I'll get into the driver's seat, and we'll drive until we just can't keep our eyes open anymore. And so we pull over, and we go to sleep until we're awoken at 3 a.m. by separate but equally terrible nightmares. Thank you.